You realize how dangerous it is that the government can't spy on literally everything you do? Well, what if you're plotting something nefarious? It's like, yeah, well, what if my government is totalitarian? Oh, that would never happen. New York Lies op-ed. Privacy at all costs is dangerous. Use of Signal and similar tools puts us all at risk. Yeah, you know what? If you're speaking from the perspective of a legacy media outlet, I guess being able to privately discuss the truth outside of their spying, that would put them in danger, wouldn't it? The peace branded Signal, government evading technology. And how is this a bad thing? Like that would be my question. How and why is this a bad thing? I can guarantee you, if the media was talking about a group of rebels in Russia fighting against their government, they would be singing Signal's praises to the high heavens. Oh, this awesome privacy tool makes it possible for these brave freedom fighters to resist their totalitarian government. And yet we're not allowed to use it. We're supposed to let our totalitarian governments do whatever they want. Like these fuckers are literally advocating for China. Like that's what they want. They want complete government control over the whole citizenry. Throughout current year, there were many high-profile stories about warrantless surveillance and data leaks. Not only do these stories highlight the risks of third parties getting unauthorized access to people's personal data, but they also demonstrate the importance of privacy-preserving technologies such as end-to-end encryption, which can prevent third parties from accessing this data, including the fucking government. But in a recent New York Lies op-ed, author and government advisor Reed Blackman argues that end-to-end encryption messaging app Signal's commitment to privacy is morally dangerous. Yeah, if you are against turning the U.S. into a Chinese-style dictatorship, that's morally dangerous. And suggests that people don't need to worry about broad surveillance or unauthorized access to their data. Yeah, don't worry. The government wouldn't do anything bad. Don't you trust us? So in the article, Blackman briefly acknowledges that Signal's privacy can be beneficial for journalists who communicate with confidential sources, but brands it government evading technology because some criminals have also used the app and brand Signal's commitment to privacy as extreme. Would you be saying the same thing if you were talking about Chinese dissidents using it to avoid their government's heavy hand? Of course not. You'd be praising them. Oh, Signal is so awesome for not bending over to the CCP and protecting their users. No, the op-ed claims that unwavering support in one principle to rule them all, in this case, principle respecting individual privacy, is morally dangerous. Take it up with the Constitution if you have a problem. And if you still have a problem with it, get the fuck out of this country. It's not for you. Just move to China. Their government is a lot better fit for what you want. And laments that Signal makes it harder for law enforcement to snoop on people's private messages and conversations. You know, there's a reason that we have an amendment in the Constitution to specifically deal with unreasonable search and seizure. You know, I'm actually thinking maybe the Constitution needs another amendment so we can specify that this unreasonable search and seizure also applies to digital goods, not just physical. And whether law enforcement should tap our phones on the condition that a warrant is obtained, at the very least, worthy of public discussion, Blackman writes, Signal has unilaterally decided for us all. You say while you're working for the same government that has been spying on people without warrants. Yeah, fuck right off. In addition to complaining about the supposed damages of people being able to communicate privately, Blackman also suggests that the use of privacy-preserving technologies such as Signal puts us all at risk. Okay, let's take this to the next reasonable conclusion then. Your ability to invite another person into your own home and speak with them privately without the government listening in on what you're saying puts us all at risk. You guys realize we are one terrorist attack away from this being a thing, right? So all these terrorists, like, they know that, communicating electronically is fucking impossible now. So they're going back to the old way of doing things, of just communicating in person or writing letters to each other. So we're only one terrorist attack away where it's discovered that they plotted the whole thing in a dude's house all just using their voice, speaking in person to each other. And then the government's going to be like, well, we're going to have to put microphones in all your houses now. And dickheads like this are going to defend that decision. Yeah, we have a technologically driven shift of power to ideological individuals and organizations whose lack of appreciation for moral nuance and good governance puts us all at risk. Right back at you. Try learning some self-awareness. So not only does Blackman rail against the increased privacy that Signal and similar tools provide, but he also accuses Signal of being unintentionally sneaky with the way it encourages people to embrace privacy. Signal's users may not be the product, but they are the witting or unwitting advocates of the moral views of the 40 or so people who operate Signal. There's something somewhat sneaky in all this, though I don't think the owners of Signal intend to be sneaky. Signal and similar tools aren't the only things Blackman takes aim at in his article. He argues concerns about mass surveillance and unauthorized people getting access to data are overblown because access to nuclear codes has yet to be abused. Okay. You know what? Fine. If you want to use okay, so how many people have access to the nuclear codes? Like what, maybe 10-ish, if even that much? So if only 10 people, and only those 10 people, like none of their underlings, if only 10 people in the whole fucking country had the ability to look at my messages, okay, maybe I could make that compromise with you. But it has to be those exact 10 people, nobody else. No proxies, no employees of theirs. No, it has to be them, okay? Man, this fucking idiot has no idea what he's talking about, and he's a government advisor. You ever wonder why your government is so fucking incompetent? It's being advised by incompetent dumb fucks like this guy. Now, the company's proposition that if anyone has access to data, then many unauthorized people probably will have access to that data is false. Yeah, has no idea how the internet works. All right, so are the nuclear codes on some publicly available network on the internet? I can guarantee you if they were, they'd already be leaked. Fucking dipshit, man. Like, this is clearly some boomer that has no idea how technology works. Probably still stuck in the 1930s or something. This response reflects a lack of faith in good governance, which is essential to any well-functioning organization or community seeking to keep its member society at large safe from bad actors. Yeah, you really want to talk about that now, after our government has been busted lying to us about everything and spying on us constantly, and all the censorship they did? Did you just ignore the Twitter files? We don't have a lack of faith in good governance, okay? We just understand we are not living under good governance. That's all this is. Take it up with your bosses. They're the ones that caused this problem. There are some people who have access to nuclear launch codes, but Mission Impossible movies aside, we're not particularly worried about a slippery slope leading to lots of unauthorized people having access to those codes. Okay, you know what? Put those fucking codes on a server connected to the internet, then. Why are you so afraid to do that, huh? Well, don't you trust good governance? Now, while Blackman claims that signal and privacy-preserving tools are dangerous and risk us all and downplays concerns of mass surveillance, numerous examples highlight the rise of mass surveillance and the growing need for tools to protect individual privacy. Thank you. Now we're getting to the reasonable part of the article. I was getting sick and tired of that fucking moron. This year, Google identified a record number of phones via geofence dragnet mass surveillance methods during the investigations into the January 6th protest. Around 900 people have been charged with offenses related to the protest, yet Google initially identified 5,723 devices for the FBI. Those who have not been charged were caught in the surveillance dragnet just because their location data showed them being close to the Capitol when the events unfolded. Yeah, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now you're punished. Several U.S. senators have also revealed the existence of numerous warrantless surveillance programs this year, and there were reports of Amazon and Google handing over security camera footage to the police without a warrant this year. Yeah, if you got a Ring camera, be careful. Government surveillance isn't the only concern. Corporations also spy on their users. TikTok recently admitted to spying on U.S. journalists and other U.S. users and monitoring their location. Literally every social media company does that, so... Yeah, and in November, Google was sued for auto-installing Chronochan spyware on people's phones. Oh my God, yeah. They better be charged trillions for that. Oh, is this the same article that's trying to convince you that mistrusting your government is bad for your health or something? Well, no. So this is a different article, but that article was more of a threat. That you better stop. You better stop distrusting us, comrade, or you might end up swimming with the fishes. Then there's the risk of data breaches and leaks. This year, sensitive personal data was leaked by government agencies such as the IRS and California's Justice Department. Twitter also allegedly leaked the data of over 400 million users in a recent data breach. Oh shit, even better. Apparently, like all the LastPass info has leaked as well. Woo, fuck. Yeah, all this shit. Or was it the Experian leak? Remember that? Yes. So all your data is being collected against your will for by these credit agencies. Now you didn't consent to them spying on everything you do and collecting all this data about you, but they're doing it, and then they get hacked and you suffer because of it. But tell me once again how privacy is somehow a bad thing.